Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? So, I'm switching up the content a little bit. I want to, you know, give you guys a little bit more than just music. Like, I want to start talking about my life and, you know, bring you guys into my journey. Like, for the past 4 years, I've been living in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And I just kind of want to open up, start talking about what I've learned since I've been here, um, and my transition from Pennsylvania to here and everything I am. Everything I am today and who I've become. So, you know, so now where I'm at now, I currently work at this job called Yamaha. Um, it's a warehouse kind of job. I just got off work. I'm still wearing my shirt. Like I just pulled up to my apartment now. So my journey to even get to here to an apartment and things like that, it's been a long 4 years. So I'm thankful to be working 10 hours a day. You know, um, and working at this kind of job because the things I've been through before to get here is it gives me a lot to be grateful for. Because when I first moved here from Pennsylvania, and I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania, for those that don't know that's watching this, um, and in Reading, Pennsylvania, it's a very small town where there's not much going on. Like, if you are from a small town, you kind of understand that there's only certain kinds of things you could do. You could either work at a certain factory at the small town everybody's working in after they graduate, or people start selling drugs, or some people they just leave the city. Some people, they get into real estate, whatever. There's not many options as far as like to prosper being in such a small town like that. The internet, of course, that changed a lot of things for some people, if you understand how it works and things like that. But, being from Reading, Pennsylvania, there wasn't a lot of options after I graduated, and I tried college out, but it didn't work for me. Like, after being there for I was there for about a year and a half, or about half a year, I would say, more like half a year. Um, and I didn't have a car at the time. I was walking, and it just rained on me, and I remember I had to walk like about 2-3 miles to get to college, and it was raining on me, and I was walking to college, and I was just like, community college. Let me clear that up. It's not like I'm going to a university. Reading Community College. I was walking in, and I was just like, it's raining. I remember it was a time around 2013, and Nothing Was the Same dropped, and I was listening to that album walking to school, and I was just like, yeah, I ain't doing this, man. I'm going back home. At the time I was living on my mom's house. So after I dropped out of there, I started, working at this factory back in home in Reading called Deca. And I was working there for a little bit. And of course, I had a couple of odd jobs in between before I got there. But this is the job that I was at last before I came to Atlanta. And I'm going to wrap this all together so you guys understand. But I want to give you a little bit of backstory to understand me and, kind of just talk about real life shit, because on YouTube, a lot of people just, you see the glitz and glamours of other YouTubers, but I just want to bring you into what's going on with me, and like if you can relate to it, and if I can say anything that hopefully inspires you, or makes you want to go try out a new town or city if you're from a small town. I just want to explain my journey so you can see how things went for me, as a young man just trying to figure things out. So like when I was back in Reading, I was doing a bunch of odd jobs. So like when I got out of high school, I moved in with two of my close friends at the time that I knew while I was still in high school, and some friends I had fallen outs with because we weren't on the same page as far as like once you get out of school, things get real. So like one roommate didn't have his money for the rent. You know, we were dealing with stresses with family and stresses just with jobs and work and things like that. And it came to a point where we had bed bugs at the apartment. Well, it was three. It was two of my other friends, good friends of mine at the time, and like we were in court trying to fight to like get the rent either reduced or something, because we were like, get rid of the bed bugs and then we'll pay the rent. But of course we didn't get nowhere with that. But I say all that just to let you guys know what I went through after graduating high school. And after dealing with that for a while, the lease was coming to an end. Everybody was like, all right, we're going back to our parents' house to regroup. One of my roommates, he couldn't go back to his parents' home, and he went off and he became something significant. I'm hoping. I hadn't talked to him in years, but we had a falling out after that because he needed a place to stay. He was I invited him to stay at my mom's house for a little while, but it's not my house, it's my mom's house. So I think after a while, like, my mom was having enough of him staying there, and at the end of the day, it's not my house, it's my mom's house. So of course I'm welcome, but like, I can't just be bringing in my friends, as we're all grown men out of high school now. So you got to find your own way. And we had a falling out because of that, because he didn't have a place to stay. But it's like, I was just explaining to him, like, bro, like, it's my mom's house. But yeah, that was like 2014, 2015. Maybe, I think it was 20, yeah, somewhere around there. It's been a while since that time. So I'm going to just give you guys the rift of how I got here. So, so boom, like, so moving forward, I was dealing with that. I moved back in with my mom for a little bit, for a few months, and then I moved back out with some more friends to another place, another apartment, and that didn't work out because it was one of my old roommates, one of my close friends I'm still friends with at this time, and then I had another friend at the time that we're not friends anymore. It was him, his baby mom, and his two kids. We moved in together in this apartment. It was like a house, and we were paying about, I think it was like $950 at the time, and that was a really sweet deal. And then like, it was like I think a two or three bedroom, and there was a room. Me and my close friend, we shared a room. Him and his baby, the other roommate, him and his baby mom shared a room, and then the kids had their room. And yeah, it was just, but it wasn't a good situation. The friend I'm no longer friends with, he was an extremely toxic person, and he was older than us. Like, at the time, we were like 21, I think, or 19, maybe, actually 19. And my other friend I grew up with, I'm still friends with today, yeah, he was like 19 also. And yeah, and this guy at the time, he was like 26, 27 maybe, and his mother, his child, she was around our age. She was like 21, 22, and they're fighting, they're putting their hands on each other. It's wild. And cops are being called late at night. This guy is just being wild, and we were living with that for about a year. He was destroying the house, punching holes in the wall. Yeah, it was just a mess. So learned from that, like, okay, I don't want to live with other people anymore. Dealing with a roommate that wasn't paying rent, And then dealing with a roommate that had anger issues and putting his hands on his girl and all types of wild things. This is after high school, these lessons I'm learning, which I believe are very important lessons going forward. And, getting to where I'm at now, there was some more lessons that had to be learned, So, like, after going through with those wild roommates, and we had to go to court for all the damages that the roommate I'm no longer friends with, he did. And at the time I didn't have a car, and we were relying on him to get to work. Once we left that place, then I had to go back to my mom's house to regroup. I'm like 22, 23 around this time. And then I get a bill in the mail saying that, this place wants to sue us now for all the damages, and I had no way to get there, but he did, and he went to court, and he blamed all the damages on me and my close friend I'm still friends with today, and said that we destroyed everything. And they were sending a bill in the mail to us to pay it because we didn't show up, because we both didn't have cars at that time. Wild story. Me and my friend were very angry about that, but it was a lesson. Just being around toxic people, protect your energy. Be mindful of who you keep around. Back then we were all doing this music thing together, and we were working with people that had all types of issues mentally, with their energy and their lives and things like that. And we had love for these people because it's like at the end of the day they still have like good qualities to them, but like but at the end of the day, I'm a crazy person, or a person that's just wilding at certain points. Even if there's moments where it's like, you're not that bad, but there's other times where you be tripping out. Like just cut those people out your life. That's a big lesson I learned in my life. Like I'm not dealing with certain energy and certain people. Like I'd rather just be rolling solo dolo and not have any friends around, than me tolerating other people and their bull. I don't want to curse too much on this, but yeah, that was a big lesson I learned in Reading, Pennsylvania. And then, a couple years passed, and I'm back living with my mom, and now I'm working at this factory job that I was telling you guys about. It's called DECA, and I worked there for about a year, and this was around 2019 I got this job. I was working a couple other jobs, but I'm trying to not to talk your guys' ears off and try to just give you guys the lessons that I've learned before getting here, and then what I learned on my path when I got here, and how it kind of snowballed into where I'm at mentally now. So yeah, I'm bouncing between jobs. I'm trying to figure things out. I have this dream of doing music, being a producer, a content creator, someone that's like putting their music out there, getting paid from it, or content or something like that. And, having to be able to live off your content. And, I'm seeing all these other people doing it. I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm bouncing between jobs, not having a stable job, because I have this belief in my mind, I'm going to be able to make it doing this, because I believed like, well, the things I create are good, and I don't really need this job. I don't need that job. And, I'm getting a lot of encouragement from people around me. They're like, yo, you're really good at doing this and doing that, like making beats and this and that third. You could really do something with it. So my head's real big back in Reading, because I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I got something here. And, people want to pay me for a beat or pay me for a music video or whatever. So that's cool. So I'm working at DECA now. I'm back living in my mom's house. I have this car that I bought through the years of that span I was just telling you guys about. Um, and this car is a Nissan Sentra. And I was riding around that thing all through the East Coast for a few years. I believe I bought it in 2017, and I rode that thing till the wheels fell off. Even that car even got me here to Atlanta. But I say that about that car because I learned a lot of things about that car too, but I don't want to get too far into details about that. I'll come back to that. So I'm working at this job, Deca. It's 2019. I'm hating working there. I hated it so much. I really did. But one thing it taught me is like discipline, because I was working third shift and we were making batteries, and you had to put your hands in this acid, and if the acid got on your skin, it would burn. You had to wear a mask because there's this dust that'll come up and it's like lead, so you couldn't breathe it in because it's poisonous, and we'd have to get lead tests every year. They would poke you with a needle, test your blood, see if you have too much lead in your blood, because it's toxic, it can kill you. And yeah, I'm hating this job. It's very physically demanding. We're making, what was it? I think 19 an hour. Yeah, 19 an hour, I believe. The paycheck was like $600 a week, and I'm living at my mom's house, and I'm making music at the time. I'm trying to figure things out. I want to get out of my mom's house, get back on my own. And this time around, after dealing with all those roommates, I'm like, I want to live by myself. Now, I wasn't making enough to live by myself, really, like in a position I wanted to. Like, I had enough to probably live in the hood or something like that, but like, I didn't want to do that, and really. But so I'm stacking up my mom's house, trying to figure things out, and then 2020 comes around. And I'm about a year in working at DECA, and it's about at the top of 2020, around April, I believe, or March, and we all get the news that there's this virus that's going around called coronavirus, or I don't know if YouTube's gonna hate that I'm talking about this, but basically when that hit, it's like the whole world stopped. Like, we were all looking at our phones. Like, yeah, all these people are dying from this. Everybody needs to stay home. Wear masks. We need to be cleaning up things. Like, it was a big thing. Social distancing. It was a really big thing at the time. And, we all felt that. They said that we're not coming into work anymore. Everybody stay out the factory. Stay home. And we're going to give you a check, a stimulus check, to carry you over while the government figures everything out. So all this is popping off, and I'm staying home back at my mom's house, and I'm now dating the mother of my son now around this time, and we're both working at this job, DECA. I met her because of music. She was really into music. I'm really into music. I liked her music, and we connected. And we were talking for a while, and things started getting more serious. She moves into my mom's house, and she's staying with us, and she's helping, to, pay rent and things like that, because no one can go to work. And we weren't getting unemployment once coronavirus hit. We filed for it and everything. We were calling and everything. And a few weeks went by, and bills are still due. You still got to pay your car note. You still got to pay your insurance, phone bill. And that stimulus check didn't last that long. So, like, after all the bills is paid and you're supposed to get your unemployment, to subsidize the rest, but me and her weren't getting it. So we're living at my mom's house, and we're like, damn, that money's gone, and unemployment's not coming. So once we got to a point where it's like, all right, my account is about to be looking real bad, she brought up, hey, you be recording music, because I had a home studio. I always had a home studio since I was like 18, and I've always been just recording myself. Me and my close friends that I grew up with, we've always just been doing music, and we always recorded ourselves, made our own beats and all that. And she made music, and we would record each other, make music with each other all the time. That was like our relationship. So she just told me, like, hey, like, why don't we invite people over, because everybody's got this stimulus check, everybody want to spend that bag. And she was like, why don't we invite people over, and then why don't we do studio sessions, and for real cheap. Now, she was popular on Facebook and Instagram and all that, so she would just tell people, hey, we're going to start doing studio sessions. Y'all come through this address, and we'll record y'all for like $20 an hour. So she starts posting, I'm posting, and then people will start coming by, because they know her in the community, and they're like, hey, let's come by and see what she's talking about. And I set up all the studio equipment. She would get the people to come in, and then I tell them how the process went. I would record people. I'd have my phone with a clock, and I would record people for an hour, and I run the timer and make sure they seen that it's $20 an hour. So as soon as that timer was up, I stopped the clock, and I'd be like, hey man, do you want to buy another hour? And they would say yes, and then put another $20 down, or they'd be like, oh no, I'm done, let me just get my song. So while we had these people coming through, she would be posting on her Instagram or Facebook, telling people about it, and then we'd be going live while there's people there recording, and other people will see the live and be like, oh man, that's dope, so you guys have a studio, you're charging this much. And more people come by. Then I started making custom beats for the people, charging them $50 a beat, plus on top of that, $20 an hour for a session. And a lot of people, when they're recording, they just really come just to smoke. And my mom was cool, so she would be cool with like people coming. It was all in the basement. We weren't up in my room. Like, my mom had this really nice basement area where there was a TV. We had a PlayStation down there. A refrigerator, all this really nice stuff. Carpet, finished basement, pretty much. And we turned it into a studio, just because my mom had it already decked out. All we did is I brought my laptop, my speakers, and the microphone, and next you know, it's a vibe. So people are coming through, we're going live, the momentum's picking up, and we're doing this thing called Freestyle Fridays that my son's mother started, where we would record people coming into this clothing shop that was in Reading, and they were basically just doing freestyles, and me and her were recorded with our cameras. She had a camera, I had a camera, and I would help her with recording and keeping everything organized and things like that. And then she would edit it, post it on her YouTube channel. That got things going more, because people would know us from doing that, and then they would want to come to the studio because they already have a relationship with us, and be like, yeah, so we want to go to your studio, record. Next thing you know, after recording, doing beats, now they want to do their music video. So we're doing a whole package. She's doing cover arts. So it's a one-stop shop in Reading, because there's not a lot of things going on in Reading. Everybody got the stimulus check and unemployment. Nobody's working, but people want to do something. So we were able to stack up a good amount of money doing that around this time. Once we stacked up a good amount of money, I think we had, after our bills were all paid and everything was good, we had extra like $3,000-$4,000 to sit in. And we got the call from DECA that they were like, all right, guys, you guys can come back to work. Now, we were making all this great money doing the studio sessions, and I got a big head, and I'm just like, man, we could really do this. This is really dope. This could be a career. I was having a great time. She was having a great time. We waking up, counting money, and the bills are all paid. We got money over here stashed. It was a really great time, right? So, she has this idea of like, fuck it, like, let's go to Atlanta, right? And I was like, I'm the type of person, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm down with it, because I always wanted to leave Reading, Pennsylvania, because I knew there was nothing much there. So being from a small town and then having this money that we made through Corona off of this, just setting up a studio in my mom's basement, it was like, this is the perfect time. So we packed all our stuff, the studio, we packed our cameras, whatever we could fit in our cars. Said goodbye to our friends and family members, and we decided to drive all the way to Atlanta and figure it out, right? My son's mother, she's someone that, she's resourceful. So, like, she was able to get a contact with somebody in Atlanta that had a spot for like $500 or something a month. Now, granted, when we got here, we didn't know what we were getting into. So we were like, fuck it. We got a place to stay at least when we get there. So we're driving all the way to Atlanta. It's a 12-hour drive. We make stops to see my family on the way down. We saw my aunt. We stayed there for a few nights. They're telling us about, be safe. Atlanta's crazy. It's wild. And this, that, and the third. So we stayed there for a little bit. Then we had said our goodbyes. We move on. That was Maryland. Now we're heading down to North Carolina, and we're just going to see my cousin, which is like really like a second father figure to me, because he's just the way his mind works and things like that. This is my cousin Mike. We stayed at his spot in North Carolina in Lewisburg for a little while, and he was telling us the same thing. Be careful. Make sure you have a gun. Make sure that you protect yourself at all times. He actually made sure we was good. He transferred over a gun for me to protect myself, and I was able to get into my name, and I have my gun license and all that. So just for protection and things like that, because we're hearing all these horror stories about Atlanta, not knowing what the hell we're going into. So he was showing us how to shoot and all that with the gun, how to use it and all that. And then he said good luck to us, and we were on our way after staying for a few days. Then it's the final stretch of getting to Atlanta. We got about, I think, 4 or 5 more hours. So when we first get into Georgia, the first thing that happens is there's goats in the road. I don't know, there's random goats. But now we know we're in the South. A little more of a drive there. We pass the city and all that, and we're heading towards Riverdale. For the people that live in Georgia and know where Riverdale is, shout out to y'all. Riverdale is where everything started. So we get there, and the address, and we pull up, and it is a garage, right? It's like a trucking garage. And we're looking around, and we're like, I'm looking at her. She's driving in a separate car than me, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is this the spot? And I pull up next to her, and she's like, this says it's the spot. I'm seeing a lady that's walking down the driveway, because mind you, it's like this big garage. It's huge. It has a bunch of garage kind of like what are they called? Doorways or whatever. They're all closed. And this lady that's walking down the hill, she clearly looks like she's on drugs or something. And I'm like, I don't think this is the spot. And then the owner comes out. I think she calls him, and he was like, yeah, let me show you guys inside. We get inside, and it's like an office area, and there's a room in the middle, and there's like a air mattress on the floor. It's like deflated, and then there's a huge area in the back with a couch, stairs, there's a TV and all that. Now all of this looks like a dusty warehouse, guys. Like, it's not like we walked into something luxurious. It was a mess. And then over here there's a spot where a guy details cars, and he does like wraps. He basically like spray paints these cars, and it's right connected. There's just this thin wall that's separating where we're gonna live and this area that's like a place where cars pull in, and they're literally getting spray painted. So the spot's always smelling like spray paint. But that's like his business there. So we're living in this spot, and it's raggedy, and we've been living there for a little while, and we're trying to start up the studio business again. And we're starting up the studio business, and people are coming through, and they're like, yo, this place is kind of dusty, and it's hot. We didn't have no air conditioning, and it's in the middle of summer, mind you, because we came down here June 21st. Like, that's around the time we got here, or 26th. Yeah, so it's hot. Atlanta gets really, really hot. There's times where it's so hot in there, like I couldn't even sleep inside the room. I would just come out and just lay on the floor because it's just so hot. So mind you, we having people come through to record and have studio sessions, and they're like, do you guys live here? And we're like, no, we live up the street. We just this is just our spot that we record people at. But yeah, we definitely lived there. We was living a little rough at the time when we first got here. Like, the first year here, it was a little wild. I still remember this one time at night where we were sleeping in the room on the air mattress, and then a rat fell out the ceiling, and it plopped down on the floor. And of course, my son's mother, she was freaking out, and the owner, he lived there too, but he lived in a separate part of it. He lived in a really big area with a couch and a TV. And when the rat came down, I had to, stomp on it. Everybody got out the room, and I had to stomp on it, and he took it